It's an almost perfect speed shoe for me, but what that could do straight away when you go, look at that, the spring you get, rigidity and spring. Hi guys, Chris here, and you're watching Here We Are Running, and today's video is a shoe review. It's of this. It's the Brooks Hyperion Max 2. And before you say it, yes, I am not in the studio for today's review. We're actually on a family holiday for a week in the lovely Greek island of Corfu. And the scenery around here is absolutely fantastic. In fact, if you look far enough in that direction, you can actually see Albania. But that's enough for the geography lesson. You're here for a review of this, the Brooks Hyperion Max 2, a shoe that was sent to me by Brooks for the purpose of doing a review. They're not paying me for that. They're not getting any say in terms of what I say in this review. And if you're a regular on the channel, you know that my reviews are honest, and the thoughts that I will give are my genuine thoughts, having run about 50 kilometers or 30 miles in the shoe so far. Before I take you through the technical specs of this shoe, let's start by just admiring the colourway, because I do like a good colourway, and this colourway, it is right up my street. Anyway, what is this shoe used for? This shoe is a max cushion speed shoe. It's a shoe that you're going to wear on your speed workouts, so your tempo runs, your interval runs, just your faster, maybe your goal pace runs that you might be building into your training block. This is the type of shoe for that, and for somebody that likes quite a lot of cushioning when they're doing those type of runs, then this is the shoe you might want to look at. And in terms of cushioning, well, it's using DNA Flash version 2 midsole foam. There's plenty of it. It's got 36.25mm in the heel area and 30.25mm in the forefoot area, giving you a heel to toe drop of 6mm. It's also, and you can see it there, it's plated shoe. It's not carbon plate, it's got a plastic plate, and they call that plastic plate Speed Vault. I can tell you what that could do straight away when you go, look at that, the spring you get, rigidity and spring that plastic plate is giving you in the shoe. The foam itself is not a really sort of spongy foam. It's quite a firm foam for a max cushion shoe, and as you can see, it's also sort of coming up at the sides of the upper as well to I guess give a bit of stability into the shoe. I'll talk more about how stable or not this shoe is when I come on to how I found the shoe, but let's carry on going through the technical specs, and then I'll come on to my actual thoughts. This is a very thin mesh upper, lightweight in its design and very breathable. It's got a nicely thin, kind of stretchy tongue, which is gusseted, and the lacing system, I'm a big fan of this. It's these kind of, I was going to call them groovy laces. They're laces with kind of pimply grooves in them, and when you tie them up, they aren't shifting. I'm telling you, they aren't shifting. They tie up very well, and they aren't coming loose at all based on the design of those laces. Now you can already see it. It's got a flare design at the heel, keeping the back of the heel area of the shoe away from your Achilles. It's not completely rigid at the heel area, that top bit anyway, but actually further down, there is a bit of a heel counter in there. Having a little look at the outsole there, you've got some nicely well positioned rubber in the heel area and also from the midsole to forefoot area. No noticeable wear at all, having only run about 50 kilometers in the shoe so far. The shoe fits true to size, and in my UK size 11, it weighs just over 300 grams or 10 3/4 ounces. It's priced in the US at $180. And although it's not been released here yet at the time of making this video here in the UK, I'm expecting it to be around £160. How have I found this shoe? Well, first let me tell you, I've been testing this shoe now for a couple of weeks, building up that distance in it, and generally running in it on faster runs, because that is what it's designed for. And I would say if you buy this shoe for an all-round daily training shoe, it's probably not the right shoe. There's much better options available for that. This shoe is designed to run fast, and that is something that it does pretty well. I found this shoe enjoyable to run in when I picked up the speed, but there was some notable problems for me when I wasn't running quite so fast in it and before I got used to it. So yeah, it's a shoe that you need to get used to running in, or at least it was for me, because when I first put this on, I did find the midsole foam quite firm. Now, I've done that before with other Brooks Max cushion shoes. The Brooks Ghost Max, again, the first couple of runs in that, the midsole foam was pretty firm. Similar experience when running in the Hyperion Max too. It did start to soften up. Firstly, as I got more used to running in the shoe and by just putting some more distance into it. So yeah, don't go by first impressions. I don't think first impressions are very fair for this shoe. And even having only run 50 kilometers in it, I'm guessing that my opinion and my enjoyment of the shoe will probably improve as I do put more distance into it. As well as noticing that that foam was quite firm to begin with until I got some of that distance into the shoe, the other thing was the shoe itself was a little bit unstable for me. I really did sort of feel that I was propped up on quite a lot of midsole foam and a bit unsteady when I was up there. Maybe that's a little bit to do with the firmness of the shoe, I'm not sure. But what I noticed was, as I got used to it, that was less of a problem. But certainly in those early runs, and where you noticed this the most was going round corners, I had to kind of take an unnatural wide angle to get round some of those corners. Otherwise, it was feeling a little bit unstable. Both those things that you could consider as negatives, both those things have improved as and when I put more distance into the shoe. And the more distance I've put into this shoe, the more I've enjoyed running in this shoe, particularly on those faster runs. When I've put the accelerator throttle down, then yes, this shoe has performed. It's picked up the pace and it's really noticeable. So I've run a few different types of speed workouts in this shoe. I've done a kind of 9 kilometer tempo run in it. I've done some interval training in it. And also I've done a run on my treadmill in it. Now, of all of those speed workouts that I've done, the one I've enjoyed running the most was the last one, which was actually on the treadmill. And there's a very good reason for that. Is because I'm running on a treadmill, the treadmill itself had some inbuilt cushioning from the platform of the treadmill. That, combined with the cushioning in the shoe, just makes it that little bit softer for me and a little bit more of an enjoyable ride. Also, on a treadmill, you're obviously running in a straight line, so I don't get any of those sort of wobbly experiences being quite on a high stack. I hope that that feeling I'm getting at the moment on the treadmill is a feeling that I will get more as I've put more distance into the actual shoe itself and loosened up that what is quite a firm midsole foam. We shall see as I use it more, but it's an almost perfect speed shoe for me, and it's not far away from being perfect. So that's how I found this shoe so far. If you've already bought this shoe, if you've run in this shoe and you've got some thoughts about it, then why not share your feedback in the comments below so that everyone else watching this video gets to see other opinions. Guys, what I would like you to do, if you've enjoyed and found this video useful, is firstly hit the thumbs up button to give the video a like. And if you're new to this channel and you think you're going to enjoy this content, then why not consider subscribing as well. But for now, guys, from sunny Corfu, goodbye.